Hello everybody, this is Connor Janes and welcome to my OS and firewalls presentation for ISA 4220 for this week's project. For this PowerPoint presentation, we will be covering these four main topics being Microsoft 2022, Ubuntu Server 24, Windows Firewall, and Linux IP tables. We will be looking into the technical details of these topics as well as security recommendations to harden our system and limit the vulnerabilities. Windows Server 2022 is the latest release in Windows long-term servicing channel. It builds on Windows Server 2019, the fastest adopted Windows Server ever. This release includes advanced multi-layer security, hybrid capabilities with Azure, and a flexible platform to modernize applications with containers. When it comes to security features, we have a few options, starting with Secure Boot, which prevents unauthorized operating systems and drivers from loading during the boot process. Policy Analyzer tool, where we can highlight when a set of group policies has redundant settings or internal inconsistencies. This is especially useful when we need to compare our GPOs against current local policies and local registry settings, or if we want to just highlight the difference between versions or sets of group policies. We also have the ability to export results to a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet with this analyzer tool. We can also use Credential Guard, which uses virtualization-based security to protect data that could be used in credential theft attacks if we are compromised. This authentication information, which was stored in the Local Security Authority, also known as the LSA, in previous versions of Windows, is now isolated from the rest of the operating system and can only be accessed by privileged system software. For storage, we can use Storage Space Direct, which is a software-defined storage solution that allows you to share storage resources in your converged and hyper-converged IT infrastructure. This enables you to combine internal storage drives on a cluster of physical servers from the range of 2 to 16 into a software-defined pool of storage. This storage pool has cache, tiers, and coding across columns, all configured and managed automatically. For networking, we can use software-defined networking, which offers a scalable, flexible, and manageable networking model and centralized control. This is useful for automating and managing network configurations. Also, we can use hybrid cloud integration, which is a seamless integration with Azure services for hybrid cloud deployments, allowing for extended on-premise infrastructure to the cloud. We can also use the Security Compliance Toolkit, which enables administrators to effectively manage their enterprise's group policy objects. Using the toolkit, administrators can compare their current GPOs with Microsoft recommended GPO baselines, edit them, store them in the GPO backup file format, and apply them broadly through AD or individually through local policy. We can configure the Windows Defender firewall by creating and enforcing strict firewall rules to help control network traffic and prevent unauthorized access. We can use the Defender firewall with advanced security to set up inbound and outbound rules, including IP-specific restrictions. We can enable advanced auditing, which provides detailed logging, allowing for the detection of abnormal or malicious activities. To enable advanced auditing for account login events, we could go through the Group Policy Management Console. For security recommendations, we can start out by running the git services command in PowerShell to audit all services being ran on the system. Another thing we can do is the set object security tool, which enables us to set security descriptors for just about any tool in any type of Windows securable object, such as files, directories, registry keys, event logs, services, and SMB shares. Ubuntu Server 24 technical details. Starting with security features, we can enable AppArmor, which is a mandatory and easy to use Linux security module that restricts application capabilities and permissions with profiles that are set per program. This provides mandatory access control to supplement the more traditional Unix model of discretionary access control. Some packages will install their own profile, and additional profiles can be found in the AppArmor Profiles package. SE Linux, though not enabled by default, provides an additional layer of security by enforcing strict access controls. SE Linux is a security enhancement for Linux that includes modifications to the kernel and user tools. This separates the implementation of security decisions from the security policy and simplifies the process of enforcing policy. SE Linux provides mandatory access control just like AppArmor. However, it is more of an optional tool compared to AppArmor. For package management, we have the APT, which is the Advanced Package Tool, which facilitates easy and secure package management, ensuring that all software is up to date with security patches. For networking, we have NetPlan, which simplifies network configuration with YAML-based configuration files, allowing for quick and precise network setups. For security recommendations for Ubuntu Server 24, I recommend secure SSH configuration by hardening SSH access, which reduces the risk of unauthorized remote logins. Implementing AppArmor policies, as mentioned before. AppArmor confines processes according to predefined security profiles, limiting their access to the system. And also configuring IP tables. IP tables control network traffic through rule-based filtering, offering a powerful tool for securing server communications. Windows Firewall is a host-based firewall integrated into the Windows operating system. It provides a robust filtering mechanism to control network traffic to and from a Windows server. We can create complex rules to filter traffic based on various parameters such as port numbers, IP addresses, and application types. For port numbers, control access to services and applications by allowing or blocking traffic on specific ports, for example, TCP or UDP ports. IP addresses, we can specify which IP addresses are allowed or denied access to the server, effectively controlling which devices can communicate with the server. Application types, rules can be created for specific applications, allowing or blocking their network activity based on the application's behavior and requirements. For integration, Windows Firewall works closely with other Windows security mechanisms such as Windows Defender Network Access Protection, and this is to enhance overall system security. For security recommendations, enforcing advanced rules. Advanced rules allow for fine-grained control over traffic based on application, service, port, and protocol, using Windows Firewall with Advanced Security Console to create rules that only allow necessary traffic, block untrusted networks, and segment traffic between internal and external networks. Firewall logging helps to monitor and analyze traffic, providing insights into potential security breaches. Enabling logging through the Windows Firewall console under the Logging tab, we can specify the log file location and adjust the log size based on your monitoring needs. Segmenting network zones, network segmentation isolates critical services, minimizing the impact of potential breaches. iptables is a user space utility program that allows a system administrator to configure the IP packet filter rules of the Linux kernel firewall, implemented as different NetFilter modules. The filters are organized in a set of tables which contain chains of rules for how to treat network traffic packets. Capabilities include packet filtering. We can filter packets based on various factors such as source, destination IP, port number, and protocol types. Network address translation. iptables can perform network address translation, also known as NAT, which allows multiple devices on a local network to share a single public IP address. iptables is highly customizable through scripts, allowing for dynamic rule sets that can be adjusted as needed. iptables work at the kernel level for efficient packet filtering with deep integration into the Linux operating system. For security recommendations, a default deny all policy on connections ensure that any unconfigured network usage will be rejected. Rate limiting when we encounter situations where certain users or devices attempt to overwhelm our network with excessive amounts of traffic. Implementing packet rate limiting plays a vital role in safeguarding against attacks such as DOS attacks and preserving network stability and security. Lastly, network isolation. Network isolation is a process that allows IT to divide or partition a network into various segments or subnetworks. This is done to minimize a broadcast domain and later to try and improve the security and manageability of the network.